All right, greetings everybody. We'll get started here in just a moment. If you could hear me and if we are streaming in 1080p, just go ahead and give a thumbs up in the chat and we will get started. Also, if you refresh your screen, you should be able to rewind. So we'll get started here in just a moment. We're gonna be maybe walking across the Brooklyn Bridge. I don't know. It's a pretty clear night. Tomorrow's going to be about 70 degrees. We'll see. We're going to be exploring all of Lower Manhattan tonight. Maybe take a walk down Wall Street, which would be very fitting for the channel. So bear with us and we'll get started shortly. Thanks, everybody. All right, I think we'll go ahead and get started here, folks. So good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Walks and Wall Street. Today is Wednesday. It's the middle of the week. It's a pretty good day today. It's beautiful weather in Manhattan, and tomorrow's going to be that much better. So I'm actually looking forward to our escapades to New York City tomorrow because it's going to be 70 degrees. It's going to feel like summer in New York City tomorrow, which is going to be great. We are reporting live from Lower Manhattan. The bridge that you see directly in front of us is the very iconic and notable Brooklyn Bridge. We may or may not be walking over that tonight. We'll see. We're going to be doing a full walking tour of Lower Manhattan. We're going to be checking out some of the notable new developments in the neighborhood. We're going to be talking about some of the real estate occupancy, both in terms of residential and commercial real estate right here in FIDI. Now, just behind us is City Hall, and to the left of us is Pace University. This is a really, really good school that's located pretty much at the base of the Brooklyn Bridge. Now, this building that you see right here is 130 William. That is one of the best-selling condominiums, not only in Lower Manhattan, but in all of New York City. Today was a pretty good day in the market. You know, we have some pretty big resiliency across the board in all major equity indices. But the one thing I really want to focus on and talk about tonight is this potential bottom we have here in crude oil. So if you want to follow along, if you have your Bloomberg terminal, Trading View, or really however you look at charts, take a look at crude oil futures, ticker symbol CL. We have now broke above the 200-day moving average, and we're headed towards $80 a barrel for crude. Now, the question herein lies, my friends, as we make this transitionary period from winter to spring and into the summer, are we going to see a massive rally in crude just in time for the summer travel season? I don't know. We'll see. I want to shift gears for a moment. Actually, not really shifting gears, but talking about energy in general. I want everybody to take a look at the XLE. It's a ticker symbol XLE, which is the Spider Select Energy Fund. And the energy sector is catching a really big bid here. We closed trading today at $90. However, I think if we break above 92, you could run into new all-time record highs for energy. So we're going to talk about what that means, why is it important, and why should we be looking at it throughout the live stream tonight. Just as a quick reminder for everybody, tomorrow is Thursday, and we will be sending out our free investing newsletter. We're going to be doing a complete breakdown of the CPI report that we got out yesterday. We're also going to be doing a full in-depth dive through every single sector in the market. We're going to be touching on emerging markets, looking at Mexican equities, Japanese equities, and even talking about our friends over there in Germany. So if you want to receive that newsletter tomorrow, right as the market closes, just go ahead and scan the QR code on your screen, punch in your email, and you will have access to our Substack. Again, we publish every other Thursday, right as the market is closing, and there's a lot to talk about. So feel free to go ahead, scan that now, punch in your email, and let me go ahead and pack up my stuff, and let's get this stream started. Thank you everybody for joining, and welcome to Lower Manhattan. All right, let's kick this thing off, shall we? Now this is Brooklyn Bridge City Hall Station. You can get the 6 train right here. This is actually where I came up of the Brooklyn Bridge. And if you continue to drive all the way down, if you make a right, you'll run into Chinatown and Little Italy. If you walk all the way over to Canal Street. Hey, Manhattan, good to see you. This is Toro 5 Points instead. Crypto Meme is here, good to see you. Two Wheel Freedom, always a pleasure. G. Raymond, Lena Sandoval, Linda, Gary Carpenter, Bree Grams, DC322, Hodo, what's going on? Adventurers here. DA, always nice to see you. The AUS Fly Girl, D, Connie, Sally, Carl Roth from Canada, what's going on? Edward Adams, thank you all for joining. All right, let me get this QR code out of the way. And you know what? Let's sort of set the parameters here for the stream. What I think we're gonna do, let's cross here first without getting hit by a car. I think that's probably gonna be step number 1. Now step number 2, we're gonna be going all the way down to Fulton Street, and we're gonna be seeing amazing views of the World Trade Center. Maybe we'll take a walk around the 9/11 Memorial, and then let's take a walk down Wall Street. There's a few iconic buildings that we should see, one of which obviously being the New York Stock Exchange, right? But number 2, I want to show you guys Federal Hall, and maybe we'll take a look at Trinity Church. Let's see if we can cross here, since we got some traffic backed up. And we'll take a look at 1 Wall Street. Hey, Lena Sandoval, what's up? Good to see you. And maybe we'll end the live stream with walking over the Brooklyn Bridge. One great thing that the city has done is they segregated the pedestrians with the cyclists. So if you're coming here with your family or your friends and you're worried about all the cyclists, you know, weaving and bobbing in and out of the pedestrians, you don't really have to worry about that anymore. They made a dedicated bike lane on the Brooklyn Bridge, so you have free reign to pretty much do whatever you want as a pedestrian. It's going to be pretty safe for you, which is great, because before it used to be horrible. Lena Sandoval, what's going on? Sunshine after rain. Appreciate you being here. We have this NYPD new Ford Mustang, this EV, electric vehicle. Pretty cool. DA, what's going on? Michael, this is Hey Tom from Corpus Christi, Texas. How's your week going? The week's going pretty good. You know, I have like 2 deals right on the cusp here that we're just trying to push over the line. One of which being at this building to our left, 130 William. We're like right there about getting the deal done. You know, seller I think is being a little bit stubborn, but and then another one in Red Hook, Brooklyn, which hopefully will be getting everything settled tomorrow with that. So you just got to keep pushing, you know, just got to keep pushing. My week is going, it's going good. No complaints at all. I think my only complaint for this week so far, which I'm sure everybody would agree, is that inflation is running a little bit hotter than expected. Obviously, we got that CPI print yesterday, coming in much hotter than expected. Now, if you noticed, the vast majority of that increase in CPI was made up of one of two things. Number one is shelter costs, and number two was energy. So I was looking at the XLE. We're going to be talking about energy a lot, also crude oil. Take a look at the XLE. It's forming what I like to call a little bit of a handle here. I believe we closed just over $90 on the XLE. I think you can go ahead and hit that over 93. And it's looking like it's going to take us into new all-time record highs, which isn't necessarily what you really want to see, but I think energy may outperform over the summer. Crude oil, so you take a look at the futures, ticker symbol CL. I posted this to Twitter today. I was like, you know what? Back in 2022, we had this blow off top in crude oil. It hit about $130 a barrel, which was ridiculous. And we had every single analyst on the street at all of the major, you know, Wall Street investment banks, all the experts, right? Talking about, you know, top trader at Goldman predicts $250 a barrel crude. And I remember we were talking about this on the live stream 2 years ago. I'm like, you know what, that's probably the top in crude for quite some time. It turns out that it was, but now I think we should be, I don't want to say bullish, but we should be, you know, have our eyebrows raised here at crude, because we're now trading above the 200-day moving average. I think we're coming up on $80 a barrel, and we're also emerging out of the winter season, right? So potentially, as the summer travel season opens up, people start to make their plans. You take a vacation, people start to travel more. You know, we get into all the summer holidays. Could this push crude oil back to $100 a barrel this summer? I don't know. If it does, I think you could say goodbye to the prospects of an interest rate cut in the summer. Because again, not to sound super repetitive, but I think it's important to kind of understand here as we cross over by Pace University. Shelter costs and energy were the two largest contributors to CPI last month, making up about 60% of the entire move. So if we continued to break out here in crude, well, what's that going to do for energy, and what's that's going to do for gasoline prices? It's probably going to send it much higher. All right, guys, this is Pace University. This is a really, really good school here. A lot of smart kids. I believe this just went under a renovation too. It's kind of cool to be able to go to college right next to the Brooklyn Bridge. You're in class and you look out the window and you see the Brooklyn Bridge. It's a really cool neighborhood. I used to work down here quite some time ago, and it's an awesome neighborhood. I really, really like it. Lots of history down here too. Connie, what's going on? Thanks for joining us. Malcolm says, hey Tom, looks great tonight in New York. Indeed it does, and you know what? Tomorrow is going to be even better. It's going to be a high of 70 degrees in New York City. I think the city is going to be rocking tomorrow, Thursday night, and it's going to be 70 degrees. It's going to be crazy. Maybe we'll try to do our live stream in like Tribeca, maybe the West Village, something like that. Peter says, Tom, European economies are not doing well at all, so their energy demand may be muted in the summer. Of course, oil supply has an impact as well. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. You know, I'm just kind of looking at price action, and oops, let me silence my phone. I think I've said this before, but it's so funny. I'm chasing around my clients all day, during the day to try to get them to respond. And they mainly get back to me at 9 o'clock to 1 a.m. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. Oh, look at this. This appears to be, now this building's brand new, by the way. Let's check it out. This is across the street from the Spruce Street building. This looks like Pace University, maybe their new dormitories, but also like a food hall. Look at this. Oh, it's the building of computer science. This is all brand new here. Wow, I remember when they were just breaking ground on this. Let's actually cross and see exactly what it is, just out of curiosity. Yeah, this is the Pace University School of Computer Science. Wow. 15 Beekman Street. Malcolm says inflation is part of any cycle. Wow, look at all this trash piled up here. All right, let's continue over to Fulton Street. Hey, Mike Skate TV, says hello, sir. We're under a winter storm warning right now. Where is that, Mike? Oh my God, guys, look at how unique this is. This is the Pace University esports team. Look at how cool that is. So insane. Not many colleges have esports, but I guess Pace has their own esports team, and it appears that they're competing too. I didn't even know this was a thing. Wow. See, the college I went to, we didn't have any of that stuff. I guess now, I mean, that's the sign of the times, right? College athletics is now incorporated esports, which kind of makes sense, right? There'll probably be whole college conferences in the metaverse now pretty soon, with the Quest headset, with the Apple Vision Pro. I mean, think about, you know, the total addressable market of esports. That's so crazy. Maybe somebody could Google that while we're doing the live stream here. College esports. So think about it like this. Think about how much money like Mark Cuban made by buying the Dallas Mavericks, you know, Chamath, all these billionaires by buying, you know, these sports teams. Could this be an interesting play to accumulate like professional esports teams, or you guys think that's not a good idea? Darren says, what is an esport? I believe it's competitive video games. Again, not my thing. I don't really play video games, but you know, could we see ourselves in a world in 20 years where people go to a baseball game, people go to a soccer game, people go to, you know, a football game? Could we be seeing ourselves like buying tickets for esports? Maybe that's going to be a whole multi-billion-dollar industry. I'll have to do some more diligence into it. All right, guys, this is one of my favorite views almost of all time in the city. We are now on Fulton Street, and we are looking up towards the Oculus, as well as One World Trade Center, or the Freedom Tower. Troy Atman's per Grok AI. College esports has grown significantly in recent years, with an estimated 577.2 million audience by 2024, and revenue streams from sponsorships and media rights exceeding 1.1 billion. Wow. I mean, if it's like that in 2024, think about what it's going to be like in 20 years. You never know. Maybe we'll do some research, and maybe we'll acquire an esports team. Crypto Meme says it's pretty cool. Our high school here in Mississippi has esports. It currently is $1 billion industry. See, that's kind of when you want to ride the wave, so to speak, right? Where you don't quite know if it's going to be a thing, but you start seeing like the embers. The only way that I can really describe that is, you know, if you're in the middle of the woods and you're trying to start a fire and you're rubbing two sticks together, and then you get that little spark, right, that creates a little ember, and then you nurture it and you have it grow and you're blowing on it. Like, it may burst into a crazy bonfire, or it may go out and then you may freeze to death and die in the woods. That's kind of when you want to get involved in these trends, because you have a asymmetric risk profile where, you know, you'll invest a little bit of money, have your limited downside, but it could grow into a huge industry. I don't know. I'll do some more diligence into esports. Maybe there'll be some publicly traded like esports leagues or something. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, Crypto Meme says it's a sign of adoption, for sure. Now this building here is 130 William. Beautiful, beautiful. I was here today. But let's actually double back and we'll go all the way to the World Trade Center. And we'll check out Fulton Street Terminal, and maybe we'll do one lap around the reflection pools at the World Trade Center. Mark says, I don't think that's exciting, watching people on computers playing video games. Some people do, right? I mean, I don't think it's exciting either, but to be able to see the vision of what a lot of young people are interested in nowadays, right? It seems as if, you know, when I walk past the high school or when I walk past the middle school, even some of the middle schoolers now have cell phones. Now, I wouldn't consider myself that old, right? But I'm 28 years old, but I didn't have a cell phone in middle school. All these middle schoolers now have cell phones and they're playing games, and, you know, it seems as if people interact with each other more on the internet than they actually do in person. So I think these are interesting trends to watch, to kind of try to get ahead and kind of see ahead of the curve, if you will. We'll take a pit stop at 130 William. I mean, with the way artificial intelligence is going, I was watching an interview. Well, actually, it wasn't an interview. It was Elon Musk commenting on an interview. And he said that by 2025, AI will be as smart as the smartest human being on Earth. And I think by the year 2030, AI will be smarter than all of humanity combined. Sort of what he said. So, I mean, in that age, it's not, you know, unquestionable, right? Or it's not unfathomable that, you know, esports or something like that could be a massive industry. So this is 130 William, everybody. This is actually going to be a coffee shop in here. So they have one retail space. Actually, they have two retail locations, one right here and then one right off of Fulton. But this is one of the best selling buildings anywhere in Manhattan. You can check out some of the renderings online. They have amazing amenities, such as a full basketball court. They have a saltwater swimming pool. They have a hot tub, a cold plunge. They have a billiards room. They have a library. I mean, just so much stuff they have. They have a yoga studio there as well. It's an awesome, awesome building. And fingers crossed, I'll be having a deal done right in this building very soon. One of my buyers. Hopefully we can get it secured and get it wrapped up this month. So Troy Atman says, when will AI decide to do things unprompted by humans? That's when things get a little bit dicey, for sure. I guess that's, what is the actual terminology for that, by the way? Is it called singularity? Now, I'm not a, you know, scientist I'm not an engineer. I'm curious and I read about a lot of stuff, but I believe that's what it's called, right? When AI can think on its own, I guess you can also, substitute the word general AI or become singularity with humans. Hey, Hawaii, what's going on? We were just at your place, 130 William. We were checking out your spot. Malcolm says, Tom, the U.S. Stadiums are packed. That is the future of sports. Mark says, Tom, I wish they had AI when I was in college to write papers. Oh my God. Think about how much easier it is. These kids have it. Even how much easier these kids nowadays had it since I was in college. And I'm only a few years out of college. I mean, that's how fast this technology curve is accelerating. I was class of 2018, but I didn't have ChatGPT. I didn't have any of these, AI bots that's essentially, hey, write me a 15-page paper on George Washington. I mean, this is just too crazy with all this trash here. This is like Mount Rushmore of garbage. This is insanity. Look at that. I mean, it's all nice and organized, but it just looks a little bit ridiculous, right? And the smell is not good. You got to figure out, maybe we could type that into ChatGPT or Grok. How do we figure out the New York City garbage problem? Let's see what they say. But yeah, it's interesting, right? I mean, think back, many of you in the chat are probably, in their 30s. I'm approaching my 30s, right? Kids have it easy, so many resources. And it's the same in the investment business, right? One of my good friends who's a very successful hedge fund manager said, people have no excuse. He's like, when I was growing up and just starting my hedge fund, we had to pay a ridiculous amount of money per minute to use the internet to get live quotes. I mean, think about that. He was explaining it to me. I couldn't even wrap my head around it because I grew up in the age of internet. I've always had internet, right? I've always had fast internet. But apparently way back in the day, you'd have to plug into dial-up just to get live stock quotes, and it would cost you a fortune. And then when you wanted to make a trade, well, guess what? The commissions were like $50 on the buy and the sell. So things have changed so much. The access to live data for the average retail trader is just unbelievable. We have 24/7, 365 live quotes. We have futures. We have zero commission trading. We have access to every single financial statement known to man at a moment's notice, at an instance, right? You didn't have that before. These fund managers of the 70s or the 60s and the 70s, they couldn't go on sec.gov, sit at their computer all night, crank beers, and go through all these financial filings. That's what a lot of people do now. And now there's even companies. So I'll tell you guys about this interesting company. It's not sponsored or anything, but in full disclosure, one of my good friends does work there. The company is called Dalupa, and it was founded by a few ex-.72 traders, very successful people. .72 is a very successful hedge fund. You may be familiar with the name from the New York Mets. But it's essentially an AI plugin that will build you a DCF model or a financial model on anything you want, and it automatically scrapes the data from the 10Ks and the 10Qs from sec.gov, and it just builds you a model, right? It plugs right into Excel. So pretty soon, some of these banks or some of these financial firms, instead of needing, 100 equity research analysts, maybe they'll only need 2, right? And the 2 analysts will just be monitoring the AI and just checking over the models that the AI builds. It's really kind of wild. So it's crazy. It's really, really wild. All right, everyone. We are now approaching Church Street. This is one of my favorite buildings on earth, the Freedom Tower. Love that. One World Trade Center. I don't know. Everybody in the chat, what do you think? Are we headed in the right direction? Is this good or is this bad? Hey, Life, Liberty, and Guns. Good evening, Tom. Glad to see you out and about. Likewise, thanks so much for being here. Brad's Brain, welcome. I see Daryl, Michelle K. Troy Atman says, Tom, I saw a video of someone dragging and dropping an Excel file into an AI, and the AI does a complete data analysis with graphs, charts, etc. It's insane. Yeah, you gotta check out this company. It does something similar, but it assists you in building your models. It's called Dalupa. I think I'm pronouncing it right. I should know how to pronounce it. It's my friend's company. But the two founders are X.72 traders. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this world evolves, right? This is the Oculus that you're looking at right now. This is the Westfield branded Oculus. It's an architectural marvel here. It's supposed to resemble a dove. Kelly's is my old stomping grounds. How did you like living in Lower Manhattan? This is on the corner of Church Street and Fulton Street. Zuccotti Park is pretty close too. And also you have BMCC, which is Borough Manhattan Community College. It's coming up on the right. Take a quick walk around campus. For those of you who joined the live stream last night, we explored the campus of John Jay College of Criminal Justice. That was all the way on the Upper West Side. Well, the very start of the Upper West Side of Manhattan. Hey, Dane says hello from Pittsburgh, Kansas. Brian says, when artificial intelligence run into intellectual property. This is the Millennium Hotel. This is a pretty good hotel here in Lower Manhattan. All of your rooms have pretty much bang-on views of the World Trade Center. I don't know, but in general, I tend to be an optimist. I think all these AI tools are going to significantly elevate our standard of living. I mean, technology in general has, elevated our standard of living and made it much, much better. This is Mercer Labs, the Museum of Art and Technology. I've actually never noticed this before. Let's get a little bit of a closer look. If you want to come here, it's on the corner of Day Street and Church. It sits adjacent the Oculus. These are the two main entrances to the Oculus. You can get the one train, but I believe you could also get the PATH train down there too. It's a massive train terminal and it's a mall. RB says it's inevitable students will use it off campus. Going back a few years, calculators were. Now, you know what's interesting? Who here remembers being in high school and the teachers screaming at you for not using a calculator? I always fought that, and I was always so combative about that, because the way I thought about it is, look, we need to embrace the tools we have, right? Calculators were invented for a reason, for us to use them. So what a lot of schools are running into right now are, should we ban ChatGPT? Should we ban other AI bots, right? And I don't think so. I actually think we should be embracing that You know, you shouldn't slap a kid on the wrist because they're experimenting with ChatGPT and other AI tools. You should encourage the use, but run checks and provide limitations on those tools, right? Because if you demonize the tool, you're just going to get a lot of animosity, you're going to get a lot of pushback. But if you create a learning environment that says, hey, look at all these great tools we have, experiment with them, encourage the kids to use them, and guess and check the work, I think that's a lot better. This lady behind me is absolutely just tearing into her dog. It's horrible to watch. I mean, man, she's crazy. Let me try to get away from it. Troy Atman, what's going on? This is a great time. I figured out how to do fractions on my calculator. The math teacher was not happy. Yeah, and it's not to say that we should be totally reliant on these things. We should have a focus on how to use them, because kids are curious, right? Kids are the most curious beings ever. And if they continue to experiment with these tools, you know, maybe they'll find errors in the system or in the code, and they'll build their own AI, and they'll be the next Mark Zuckerberg, right? Adventure says you don't want your students to be AI illiterate nor technophobes. I agree. I totally agree. All right, everybody, this is Ladder Company 10, Engine 10, the FDNY. God bless them, right? New York's bravest. This stands right outside the reflection pools right here, 1, 2. And then you have this fantastic shot of the World Trade Center. This stands 1,776 feet tall, 1776. God bless America, right? Neighbor Bob says, hey Tom, what city has the most bridges, New York City or Pittsburgh? Pittsburgh. Hey, Trade Brigade. This is the underlying point of school going forward will be critical thinking, logical thinking, not the actual subject matter in my opinion. They'll go hand in hand, I suppose, but more so about how you think. Dude, I totally agree with that, by the way, because there was a really good interview that came out with the CEO and founder of Citadel, Ken Griffin, and he kind of said the same exact thing, right? He said we should be encouraging not only students but employees to be experimenting with these tools, you know, ChatGPT and the like. It's rumored that Citadel is in talks to purchase enterprise licenses of ChatGPT to experiment and help them check their code and their trading algorithms and everything like that. So if anything, right, and history proves this, you should be a little bit skeptical of everything, but you should be leaning in towards the innovation at all times, right? I always remember these videos, particularly when the iPhone came out, and they brought the iPhone on the Today Show, and Matt Lauer was like, who's going to use an iPhone? This is ridiculous. This is crazy, right? Now, almost everybody thought that at the time, but could you imagine if you were one of those people who are like, yeah, this seems a little bit crazy, but I'm going to lean into it, right? I'm going to have an optimistic outlook and lean into it. Chances are you would have minted yourself a multi-millionaire probably 10, 20 times over, right? I mean, think about how much Apple stock has went up since then. Anyway, everybody, this right here is the 9/11 memorial. Very seldom do we get a chance to come down here and take a look at it, but this is one of my favorite tributes, or I should say memorials, to the victims of 9/11, particularly the FDNY. I mean, look at the detail on this. If you want to come here yourself, it's on Liberty Street. Didn't they do a good job? I think this is a really phenomenal memorial here. It's really wild just thinking about so many people, man. It's so sad. So if you're visiting New York City and you want to check it out yourself, it's on the corner of Liberty Street and Greenwich Street. This is Ladder Company 10, Engine 10. I mean, can you imagine these guys at the firehouse right here? I mean, they were literally right at ground zero there. And it's very quiet in Lower Manhattan, particularly at night. We're gonna push up towards West Street. Now, West Street has the headquarters of Goldman Sachs. It's gonna be right up here to the left. But if you guys are enjoying the live stream so far tonight, feel free to leave a like on the video and click the subscribe button if you're new. We do these streams every night, usually start around 8:30. Now these are the two reflection pools here. They rope them off at night. Here, I'll show you the map. You can see the North Pool and the South Pool. We are standing directly to the right of the South Pool. And those are the exact locations that the trade centers were. And then this is the other side of the Oculus. And right in front of us, we have BMCC, which is Borough Manhattan Community College. This is the September 11th Memorial Museum. I mean, standing right under the Trade Center is crazy. I mean, the size and scale of that thing is unbelievable. All right, we're back on Fulton Street, and this is the Performing Arts Center again. So this just opened. This is relatively brand new. The last time we were down here, there was all scaffolding all around this, but this is now open for business. The Performing Arts Center. Now, if you cross the West Side Highway, you'd be on the other side of West Street, and that is the headquarters of Goldman Sachs. We'll make this right. And this is quite literally the main address, One World Trade Center. Now, standing right next to it, oh my gosh, you need to see this during the day because it's so massive. But you can see the writing here, One World Trade. And then I'll pan the camera all the way up to the top. It kind of tapers off too. So that is the W Hotel and Tower. And then right as we make this left, you'll be able to see a better shot of the Oculus. Yeah, it kind of does resemble, you know, a dove in a way. We'll walk all the way to West Side Highway, might as well, since we're here. And then we'll double back and we'll go to Wall Street. Now at the very, I should say the end, or the beginning, however you want to define it, we're going to see the largest office to condo conversion in the history of the city of New York. The address is 1 Wall Street, and it was put on by Harry Mackalow of Mackalow Properties. It has over 500 units in the entire building, and they built it as an ultra luxury condo. So the same finishes, if you remember being all the way up by 432 Park, it has the same finishes on the inside of 432 Park Avenue they have on the inside of 1 Wall Street. So we'll check that out. But now we are on the westernmost side of the World Trade Center. This is Goldman Sachs right here, 50 West Street. I mean, this is a really fun neighborhood to kind of walk around when it's not winter. Trust me, in the winter, it is cold, it is windy, it's just not pleasant. But in the summer, this place is amazing. If you ever want to see an amazing sunset in Manhattan, go inside Brookfield Place, walk all the way to the back, and you will see an incredible sunset overlooking New Jersey. It's just insane. You could even see the Statue of Liberty too. If you go through Brookfield Place and go all the way to the water, you'll be able to see it. It's cool. Hey, Ryan Beck, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us. Someone says, do you ever see anybody famous on your walks? Yeah, we saw Bill Ackman. We saw Ackman, I think about a year ago. I think we also saw some other famous people, but I didn't notice. Some people in the chat noticed, but yeah, we walked past Ackman right outside of 157. Now, back in the day, this was way, way back in the day. If you want to look this up, the developer is Xtel, so Gary Burnett. And he built 157. That was the first building ever constructed on New York City's Billionaires Row. And Bill Ackman, along with some investors, if you don't know who Ackman is, he is the CEO and founder of Pershing Square. He purchased a full floor unit, I believe on the 88th floor, I want to say, for just under $100 million. I'm not too sure if he still has it. I think he does. But he frequents 157 in Central Park Tower a lot. I think some other employees at Pershing Square lives in 157. But yeah, we walked past him right around there. 200 West Street. Excuse me. This is Goldman Sachs here, 200 West. Oh yeah, that's right. We also saw Kevin Bacon. That was when we were doing the Upper West Side. That was when I lived on the Upper West Side. I remember that. He has a nice place up there too. Now, for those of you who are just joining, one of the things that we were talking about today specifically, this is American Express, 200 Vesey Street. Now, obviously, yesterday we had the CPI report, and one of the biggest things that we concluded, or that the biggest takeaways from the report, was that 60% of all inflation was caused by two categories. Number one being shelter, and number two, energy. So if you look at crude or crude oil, if you look at the futures contract, ticker symbol CL, we closed just over $80 a barrel, I believe. So if you look at it on a weekly chart of crude, the concern is that we have a rally in crude throughout the spring and into the summer, just as the peak travel season happens. And also the XLE, right, which is the Spider Energy Select ETF, is starting to handle here and look a little bit bullish. So the problem therein lies if we get a big rally in crude. I think you can say goodbye to any hopes of a rate cut in the summer, because energy is going to continue to rip. Hopefully not. I'm hoping against that, but crude is actually looking a little bit bullish here. Trade Brigade says, have you seen the new diffusion breakdowns from the terminal? Cool breakdowns for CPI. I haven't. What do they look like? I was checking out some of your videos. I really like them, by the way. So if anybody wants to check that out, head over to our good pal Trade Brigade. I think he provides some valuable insights on his channel. I had it up at the office today. Love the beaches here. What's going on? Thanks for joining. Yeah, let's go by the water. Might as well. It's a nice night out. Now you're going to be able to see all of Hoboken, New Jersey. Neighbor Bob says, don't you think they have to cut rates at least once or twice with the election coming up? I mean, I've heard that narrative, but I don't really understand it. And I'm being serious, by the way. I don't understand that analogy, right? There's been a lot of mainly political pundits out there saying that since the election's coming up, the Fed is going to be influenced, if you will, by the Biden administration to cut rates. I just don't see the logic there. I don't get it, because you have the equity markets ripping, doing really well, trading at new all-time record highs. You have unemployment at record lows. So, you know, if the Biden administration hammers the Federal Reserve and tells them to cut interest rates, the only thing that I think that will do is spike inflation, and that's going to be a negative look on the administration. So I just don't really see the parallels there. I don't know. You know, it seems as if inflation is kind of bouncing around this 3% level. So there has to be a reason, right? Monetary policy is to create price stability and keep the employment market healthy. Now, the employment market is very, very healthy right now. And the only thing we got to worry about or, you know, really hammer on is inflation. So I don't know. Not too sure. Okay, guys, this is the Port Authority, not the ferry, not the bus terminal, but the ferry terminal. Look at this, Battery Park City. Absolutely gorgeous views in New Jersey here. Super quiet, really beautiful. But my favorite view is right here. Check this out. Right in front of us is the beautiful Statue of Liberty. Isn't that cool? Imagine being here just right at sunset. I think these are some of the best views you'll see of the Statue of Liberty. So again, if you go all the way through Brookfield Place and come to the water, come here right at sunset, and the sunset's gonna blow your face off. It's gonna be insane. Isn't this cool? I told you guys it's awesome down here. The only thing though, that, you know, not to sound repetitive, the winter is not very fun down here. Not very fun. But look at Hoboken. Hoboken looks great. You see the moon, you see the ferry pulling in. And all the way in the distance here, you can see the Verrazano Bridge. Yeah, it's very quiet here. So if you live down here, this is a great place to go running, get some exercise. It's a cool neighborhood. But just know, if you go a little bit further up, it actually does flood. During Hurricane Sandy, right where we're standing was totally underwater. I mean, think about how wild that is, right? So look at where the water is. And could you imagine the water coming all the way up over here? That's what happened during Sandy. Kind of incredible, right? Yeah, Trade Brigade, for sure. There's tons of marinas in New York. Now, where I'm from, Long Island, which, you know, if you think about Long Island, you have Brooklyn, Queens, Nassau, and Suffolk County. Nassau County and Suffolk County, big boating and fishing communities, huge. Particularly the North Shore of Long Island, too. Because, you know, if you live on the North Shore, you can go boating to Connecticut, which is awesome. Sag Harbor, I'm not sure if anybody's familiar with that. That's all the way out east. That's a beautiful... Now, if you're visiting New York City, you got to hear me out on this, because you should make a day trip all the way out east and check out Sag Harbor. That's a fun place. Particularly in the summer. Awesome, awesome place. Sag Harbor is absolutely beautiful. Yeah, I mean, I'm getting excited because the winter's behind us, you know. And spring is here. It's going to be summer before you know it, and it's going to be crazy. I'm predicting this city, New York City, is going to be on fire this summer. It's just going to be so much tourism. You know, all the haters that have been saying, you know, New York's going to be a ghost town, it's going to be dead. I can feel it, you know, and obviously that's anecdotal data, but I can honestly feel the city is going to come alive this summer. I mean, just one 60-degree day and there's thousands of people. You guys will see. In the summer when we're doing our live streams around Soho, Tribeca, it's going to be like, the environment is going to be awesome. It's going to be insane. This is Del Frisco's, my second favorite location. Yeah, Troy Atmans. And with that being said, we're gonna have a surprise snowstorm next week, and it'll be the coldest week in history. I agree. Most likely that's gonna happen. Now I'm surprised if that doesn't happen. So. This is RBC Capital Markets. Hey Nick, says we are going to New York in May, so looking forward to it. That's a great time to come. That's a great time to come. Central Park should just be kind of getting, you know, in bloom then. You know, hopefully we have a really warm May. Yeah, usually if you can come towards May, you know, April is kind of hit or miss in New York. April can be really rainy and kind of cold. Depends. But May is great. I think you're going to have a good time. All right, back over to West Street and Vesey Street. So once again, this is 200 West Street. This is Goldman Sachs headquarters. This will take you all the way to the tunnel and out to Brooklyn. So if you want an easy way to get to Brooklyn, just go all the way down to West Side Highway, and you can take the tunnel, and it'll give you a straight shot to Brooklyn. I know, Who Dat Dave's hotel prices are astronomical in New York City. $350 a night for a walk-in closet. Well, the crazy thing is that hospitality has never been doing better. This is like the golden age for hospitality. And again, you know, the market tends to do the exact opposite of what the narrative is. And we wrote about this in the newsletter. You know, take a look at Hyatt, ticker symbol H. Take a look at Hilton, ticker symbol HLT. All of these hospitality and hotel stocks are screaming and charging into new all-time record highs. And I think they're going to outperform and do really well this summer. I really do. And if you think of Hyatt, not all the time, but I think we could think of Hyatt as a more high-end hotel chain, right? You have some of the luxury brands like the Park Hyatt. I think the Andaz Hotel is under the Hyatt umbrella. You know, these are $450 to, $1,200 a night hotel rooms. And they're crushing earnings. They're doing better than they've ever done before. And the prediction, there was the CEO of Hilton was on CNBC talking about the conference that they had here in New York City, and they predict a full, Hilton is predicting a full 100% return to normal in business travel for the year 2024. So everybody who was in this camp that says, oh, hotels are going to go to zero, everything's dead. Well, guess what? It did the exact opposite. These stocks are trading and banging into new highs. So, and earnings are good. It's crazy. So I agree, Who Dat Dave. I think it's going to be very competitive in New York to get a hotel room. I think occupancy is going to be very high. Now this building right here is BMCC. This is Borough Manhattan Community College. And if you continue to walk all the way up, that'll take you to Tribeca. Just as a quick reminder, everybody, tomorrow is Thursday. And Thursday is the day where we send out our free investing newsletter. So if you want to receive all of our equity research and market thoughts tomorrow, just feel free to scan the QR code on your screen and punch in your email, because right at the closing bell, we're going to be sending out, I believe, the 4th issue of the Behind the Street newsletter. So check it out. We're going to be covering a lot tomorrow, a lot of stuff. And next week, I'm going to be filming a very, I'll go out on a limb and say probably the most interesting property tour we've ever filmed. Our team just landed an insane listing that we're going to bring to market very soon. And before it comes to market, you guys will be the first people to see it right here on Walks on Wall Street. So we'll give you that little exclusive there. So if you want to see it, scan the QR code on your screen, punch in your email, and we'll send that out. We're going to be posting it next week. Okay, we're gonna go all the way down by Zuccotti Park. We're gonna make a left. We'll take a pit stop at the Federal Reserve, which we're gonna hear from them on the 20th, by the way. And then we'll check out Wall Street, the New York Stock Exchange, and we'll go all the way down Broadway and check out the Mighty Bull. the Millennium Hotel again. Neighbor Bob says, Tom, have you ever met any of the guys from $1 Million Listing? Yeah, I work for one of the brokers on the show. That's who I work for. I work for Kirsten Jordan, who's the first female cast member on $1 Million Listing New York. That is our team. That's us. Yeah, so we do a lot of deals with Frederick on the Uckland Gomes team. We actually do a lot of business with them because they're the same brokerage as us, Douglas Elliman. I'm going to a Sirhant event next week. So yeah, we do a lot of business together. Tyler Whitman at the agency, we do a lot of business with him. We actually just hired, or my boss, Kirsten, we just hired his old assistant, Melina. She's great. She's awesome. Her desk is right next to mine, so. Troy Atman says, Tom, will you be on the show? I will not be on the show because the show doesn't exist anymore. They discontinued the show, but well, I can't say. It's not up to me to say that. I'll bite my tongue. The only thing I will say is I think it'll be fun next year. 2025 I think is going to be really, really fun. I'll say that. That's the only thing I'll say. All right, this is Zuccotti Park. Anybody familiar with Occupy Wall Street? We talked about this many times. One of my favorite mini documentary series is Peter Schiff, I Am the 1%. So if you go on YouTube, you pull up another browser, just type in Peter Schiff, I Am the 1%. This is where they filmed that mini documentary series. If you don't know who Peter Schiff is, he is the founder and CEO of Euro Pacific Capital and formerly Euro Pacific Bank before the regulators shut it down. I think Peter Schiff is in a lawsuit, a defamation lawsuit. Anyway, I'll digress. But yeah, it was right here. This was the ground floor of Occupy Wall Street, right here. Which I actually agree with the very, very, very early Occupy Wall Street movement. I do. I actually do. However, it was corrupted and it turned into this socialist crazy movement. And that's when, that's when it all went downhill. Now, I totally agree with the precipice where we should stop socializing the losses and privatizing the gains. That was the biggest, that was the real biggest uproar that sparked the whole movement, right? Because during the 2008 financial crisis, the taxpayers, me and you, had to bail out all the banks that were making all of these very risky bets. They were dealing with toxic derivatives. They were collateralizing all of this, garbage mortgages, subprime. And they made all their money. They got to keep all their bonuses, but we had to bail them out. And that's the problem, right? Because the bankers got bailed out. They got to keep all their bonuses, but you, and when I mean you, I mean the public, we got to lose our homes, right? It's a big problem. Okay, everybody, this is arguably one of the most historical sites in New York. We are right on the corner of Wall Street here. And this is the very famous Trinity Church. Beautiful, beautiful church. If you ever get a chance to go inside, I'd highly recommend it. Beautiful in there. I was just in here. However, you do have to go through metal detectors and a bunch of scans to be able to go in there. just to let you know. Okay, this is the first stop on our nightly Lower Manhattan tour. Very important, everybody. This building that you're looking at right now, this is 1 Wall Street. This building is absolutely massive. Now, this is the largest office to condo conversion in the city's history. There's over 500 residential units in the building, but the building is only about 20% sold, and the developer is Harry Macklowe. The most famous building in New York that was developed by Harry Macklowe is 432 Park Avenue. It's right next to our office where we start the live stream. And, you know, this building is really nice. It has all the amenities you could imagine. It has a private restaurant exclusive for the residences in the building. It has a saltwater pool. It has a billiards room, a wine room, a cigar room. Just, I mean, gyms, 2 gyms, yoga studio. It doesn't have a WeWork, but it's a WeWork style office floor. So an entire floor of this building is a co-working space, stocked with snacks, stocked with food, desks, conference rooms, anything you can imagine. So you really never have to leave this building. The problem is it's priced very high, 1 Wall Street, because they overdid it on the luxury. Every single unit in this building has the same exact kitchens that you see on Billionaires Row at 432 Park. So it's an amazing building. It's absolutely stunning. The problem is when you're buying things that are, you know, upwards of $2,000 a foot and up, you know, luxury buyers generally want exclusivity, and they want to be buying a 1 of 1 or a 1 of 50, right? They want bespoke product. The problem with 1 Wall Street is that there's over 500 units. So it kind of removes that exclusivity factor. I think if they went a little bit less luxury, a little bit less over the top, I think it would have sold a lot better, but it's still a great building. I think there's deals to be had in that building. And as Lower Manhattan kind of attracts more office workers, I think more people will be attracted to buying the building. Now, this is one of the model units, and this is a really cool unit because this is your living room, right? And if you look directly outside your living room, you have a perfect view of the Mighty Bowl, which is right at the end of Broadway. Pretty cool, right? Now, the swimming pool is insane here. I think I posted some footage on our YouTube shorts of the swimming pool inside 1 Wall Street. I mean, the place is amazing. It's almost like it's crazy amazing in there, but again, just a little bit pricey for the neighborhood. So, and you have a brand new Whole Foods in your building. So let's go back to Wall Street, everybody, and we'll bang this right. And then this is going to take us to Federal Hall, and then the building we've all been waiting for, which is the New York Stock Exchange. This is Wall Street Station. You can get the 4 or 5 trains uptown. I know Optimus 17 says the pool is the place I would never leave, because you're overlooking the Statue of Liberty. I mean, imagine being able to swim in your lap pool, watch the sunset, and have a direct view of the Statue of Liberty. It's insane. Here we are. This is the back entrance of the New York Stock Exchange. For those of you who are new here, you'll notice how everything is gated off, right? You see these cobblestone streets that you can't really walk down? Well, prior to 9/11, this was all open, right? You could quite literally walk right in front of the doors of the New York Stock Exchange, but due to the heightened terrorist threats, this is all blocked off to the public. We'll kind of walk around to Broad Street just so you can kind of get a little bit of a better sense of what I'm talking about. Hey, hang with Mark Mom, what's up? Good to see you. I used to come in this building all the time, 14 Wall Street. I had a very, very big client in here. And the building directly in front of us on Nassau Street is Federal Hall. But the scaffolding is going to be up there for over 10 years, my friends. So this is the very iconic statue of George Washington, right where he was inaugurated on these steps. I have, one of my most prized possessions is this painting I have, or this art piece. And it's the artist, I'll kind of show you guys. I think I have some photos of the photo, or the painting. So the artist was sitting right behind George Washington. So the view is looking from Washington's perspective at the New York Stock Exchange with all these American flags. It's an amazing piece. Unfortunately, when I moved from Central Park south to Miami, Florida, I hadn't had a chance to put them up. So they're sitting in storage. Hopefully I'll be able to get them up pretty soon. What do you guys think? We are now overlooking the iconic New York Stock Exchange. Hey, Ukrainian Royal, what's up? Good to see you. Long time no see, and welcome to Lower Manhattan. We're happy to have you here. Hang with Mark Mom says, hey Tom, so many tourists here, both near Disney and Universal Studios, packed, and people are spending so much money everywhere. The economy is just fine. I mean, I'm seeing the same exact thing in New York City. The restaurants are packed, unemployment's at all-time record lows. You know, things are pretty good. The public is not allowed to enter inside the New York Stock Exchange anymore, which is really unfortunate because this is really an American staple of free markets and capitalism and opportunity. So I think that the American public should be able to go in here, but due to, heightened terrorist activity, it's unfortunately closed to the public. I was so lucky to be able to attend a closing bell ceremony here. And quite literally, honestly, it was one of the most amazing opportunities I've ever experienced. To be inside the New York Stock Exchange on the floor, attending the closing bell ceremony. It was awesome. It's an amazing building. It's American history. It's amazing. Now this is the Fearless Girl. And she used to be directly in front of the Mighty Bull on Broadway, but they've moved her right across the street, or I should say right across from the stock exchange. really incredible, right? 18 Broad Street. Now, since we're a little bit further back, you can see this amazing shot of Federal Hall. Now, it's going under full restoration. Unfortunately, I have this scaffolding here. But when I used to work down here, I used to work right next to the Deutsche Bank. I used to sit on the steps of Federal Hall and hang out. But so many things are changing down here, right? A lot of it is residential now. They've converted a lot of these offices to residential condos all up and down Wall Street. So a lot of, I should say, financial activity really doesn't happen down here anymore like it used to. I'm talking about on the physical street of Wall Street. We're about to pass Deutsche Bank, which is 60 Wall Street. That's now completely vacant too. Deutsche Bank has vacated their office on Wall Street and they've moved uptown to Columbus Circle, right at the old AOL Time Warner Center, where you have the Mandarin Oriental Hotel and the shops at Columbus Circle. This is the Trump Building, 40 Wall Street. This is one of the tallest buildings in Lower Manhattan. Marxists, do they still work in Wall Street? Everything is computerized? Yeah, well, I mean, that was the biggest thing, right? I mean, if you go way, way back in the day, there used to be these things called bucket shops. One of my favorite books of all time is Reminiscences of a Stock Operator, based on the life of Jesse Livermore, and that's what he used to do. He used to go down and trade in the bucket shops and then head uptown to the Sherry Netherland Hotel. But now with computers, right, the internet, you don't have to be on a physical street of Wall Street and trade back and forth with pieces of paper. You could be in Aruba, you could be in London, you could be anywhere, really. You don't necessarily have to be in one physical location to conduct business. So almost really on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, it's kind of like a TV studio. Now, yes, there is market making on the floor. There is trading on the floor, but it's like a mere fraction of what it was. There's a pretty cool atrium here that's also being renovated. It was open to the public. I think some of it is still open. But guys, here it is. This is the old Deutsche Bank. Look at that. 60 Wall. No longer. This is totally vacant, totally empty. I think there's going to be a condo project that's going to be going on in there. Kava. What do you guys think of this place? I think this went public about a year ago. Anybody a big fan of this place? Never tried it. Hey, hang with Mark Mom. This is Tom. I have friends living in Portugal working remote on Wall Street and they love it. Yeah, you know, hang with Mark Mom. This is her old stomping grounds, right? Yeah, you could just see a little bit of the old Deutsche Bank signage here. And now the whole thing is blown out. It's a big construction site. If you look closely, you can see all the elevator banks. It's crazy. I mean, it's really crazy seeing it like this, because I used to walk to work and I used to see so many people coming in and out of here. And to see it totally blown out and vacant like that, it's kind of sad. But, you know, that's been the theme. A lot of these banks have been moving uptown, midtown Manhattan, Times Square, you know, for better office space, better environment, closer to clients. All right, let me, I just got to plug in my phone here. Give me a second. You know, it seems as if now, if you're a big bank, you're a hedge fund or something, and you're not located, you know, within walking distance of Park Avenue, Billionaires Row, you know, Times Square North, it seems like you're kind of out of the picture, doesn't it? I mean, just think about walking down Avenue of the Americas, or 6th Avenue. You have Neuberger Berman, you have Fortress Investments, you have Tiger Global, which is just in between 5th Avenue on 57th Street, right? It's Chase Coleman's hedge fund. If you continue all the way down Avenue of the Americas, you have UBS, Neuberger Berman, Mizuho, you have BNP Paribas, you have Barclays, which is in the old Lehman Brothers building. So everything now is in Midtown, like almost nothing is in Lower Manhattan. Yeah, you have Goldman Sachs, 200 West, but a lot of it's on Park Avenue. Hey, Trade Brigade, take it easy. Thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it very much. Hang with Mark Mom. Says Tom, I would go to Deutsche Bank 3 times a week for transactions. So sad to see it closed over there. Yeah, I mean, things are changing. It's kind of wild. Now, you guys want to see where my old office was? It's right here. It's a restaurant now. My old office is the new Wall Street Hotel. This used to be an office building. There used to be retail on the bottom, and now it is a luxury hotel. And a really nice looking luxury hotel, by the way. Quite literally called the Wall Street Hotel. The exact address used to be 82 Wall Street. Now you have this beautiful kind of cocktail lounge here. And right here, this is where the Buttonwood Agreement was signed. Literally right here. In 1792, right where you're standing, the Buttonwood Agreement was officially signed and executed, establishing the first ever New York Stock Exchange at the time. Crazy. I never knew this is the exact location where the Buttonwood Agreement was signed, and this is my first real job. It was quite literally right here where the Buttonwood Agreement was signed. Never knew that. All right, let's push on to the South Street Seaport. But if you guys are enjoying the live stream so far tonight, feel free to leave a like on the video and click the subscribe button if you're new. We do these live streams almost every day starting at 8:30. I know Brad's brain says, wow, I'm always stunned when you walk around here. The Buttonwood Agreement, amazing. And they have the original document, Brad, of the Buttonwood Agreement inside the New York Stock Exchange. So if you're ever lucky enough to get a chance to go there, just ask them if you could see the original document. They have it on display. I was able to see it. I'm so thankful to be able to see that. It was an amazing opportunity. This is 95 Wall Street. This is now condominiums. This used to be an office building. It still does look very, very much like an office building. That's why I don't know if I could ever live in any of these condo conversions. Because I feel like I want to be at home. I don't really want to be in an office. Brad says, did you get a pic of it? Yeah, I think I sent it to you on Twitter. Now X. Mark says, Tom, when did they stop letting people go into Wall Street? Do you mean the stock exchange? I think it was after 9/11, the September 11th terrorist attacks. I believe they closed down the stock exchange for the public. Now you guys see all these buildings here? The vast majority of these office buildings that you see right now, totally vacant. AIG, well, the old AIG, this is totally vacant, the whole building. It's crazy to think. This is Maiden Lane. If you cruise all the way up Maiden Lane and turn the corner, you'll reach Federal Hall. No, not Federal Hall, excuse me. The Federal Reserve. Which we will actually hear from them. Which you can see the Federal Reserve from right here. We're going to hear from them on March 19th through the 20th at the next FOMC meeting. But for now, we're going to head to the South Street Seaport. So here's another office to condo conversion. It's called Pearl House. I don't know. What are your thoughts about this, everybody? Does it look too much like an office building? I think the facades look too much like an office. I don't know. To me, it appears too cookie cutter. I can never buy a place in there. Maybe rent is rentals, but... Wow, it looks like they actually opened this up for some type of event. Maybe they're doing a venue here. I remember I did an AIG event, like a corporate event right in here. Oh my gosh, they still have this Flavors sign here. I used to come here all the time, this place called Flavors. They had pretty good breakfast. This has been out of business now for years. Right in the corner of John Street. Yeah, TK Porsche is small windows, no balconies, not at all residential. And, you know, that's kind of some of the older office buildings that have the Art Deco kind of style. I mean, those windows are so narrow that you don't get almost any natural light inside. Let's make this right on Fulton Street. And you're gonna see the South Street Seaport and the new Tin Building. Kind of like a ghost town though right now. It is really late at night, but still. What's today's date, everybody? Is today March 12th? 13th, right? Tomorrow's March 14th. This is the South Street Seaport Museum. Let's go all the way to the water. 13th, copy that. Hey, Amy T. Hey, Tom, I just arrived. Where are you? Well, Amy, this is the South Street Seaport right here in Lower Manhattan, more specifically Pier 17. One of my favorite neighborhoods. Oh, that's right, Pi Day is tomorrow. Happy Pi Day, TD, Teresa Diaz, if you're watching. Guys, did you know TD used to be a math teacher? I didn't know that. All right, welcome to Pier 17, everybody, and welcome to the Tin Building. This has the brand new restaurant over here as well by Jean-Georges. And if you look at this building, this huge tall one over there, that is One Manhattan Square. The same exact developer who did Central Park Tower and 157. Yeah, Joel PM says many new apartments resemble storage units. Yeah, the way I like to describe it is cookie cutter. They're like cookie cutter apartments. Look, I mean, it's good for these condo conversions to bring on new supply in the market, but I think they do better as rentals just to give people a place to stay. You have One Manhattan Square and the Brooklyn Bridge. That's the building that's halted construction because it's structurally unsound. I don't know what they're going to do with that because they already pre-sold the building. And I think the deposit, they were taking 20% deposits on the building. And I don't know what they're going to do with it. They'll have to figure out a way to re-engineer it for occupancy. But this building right here is in jeopardy of falling over if they continue construction. They totally blundered I think it had to do something with the PSI of the concrete, where it's not structurally sound. And apparently they pre-sold over 20% of the units too. Hopefully people can get their deposits back. But what do you guys think of the Seaport? You guys like it? You think it's good? Think it's a cool neighborhood? I think it's really nice. We're overlooking Brooklyn Heights in downtown Brooklyn as well. And I gotta point out this building to you guys. This is Olympia Dumbo. This is one of my favorite spots in all of New York. Could you imagine just sitting here, hanging out, overlooking the Brooklyn Bridge, overlooking the water? Stunning views. I think the internet's a little iffy here though. Man, it's so nice. Is the stream buffering here or are we good? If it's not buffering, I'd like to zoom in and explain a little bit about the buildings, if I may. So we're now zoomed in on the Brooklyn Bridge, and right here, everybody, let me see. Finger is incoming. Oh, boom, right here, this building. This is Olympia Dumbo. That is one of the best-selling new developments in Dumbo, Brooklyn. And as you can imagine, the views from Olympia Dumbo is insane. It's insanity. You have unobstructed views of all of Lower Manhattan. You're looking directly at the Brooklyn Bridge and the Manhattan Bridge. And some of the units are full-floor units with balconies. It's absolutely beautiful. Now I'll pan the camera over a little bit. All right. Now this is Brooklyn Heights and downtown Brooklyn. This huge building right here, boom, right there. That's Brooklyn Tower, the brand new Brooklyn Tower. Huge, huge development. Not a big fan of the architecture though. Atlantic Terminal Brooklyn. I think that's currently the tallest building in Brooklyn. Now, if we turn the camera a little bit more, you can not only see the Brooklyn Bridge, but you can see the Manhattan Bridge and One Manhattan West, or excuse me, One Manhattan Square, I apologize. So this massive monstrosity of a building that is an ultra luxury condo developed by Xtel. Wow, really peaceful. Let's head back. Here's another view of Lower Manhattan. Look at this dog here. I think this is a Korean breed. Look at how massive that guy is. Look at him. Or her. All right, guys. I think we'll call it a night because I do have to be up early. And hopefully we'll be getting some news. We close some deals tomorrow. Hopefully we'll have 2 deals signed, sealed, and delivered tomorrow. Fingers crossed. If you guys know anybody who's looking to sell their apartment in New York or buy, feel free to work with me here at the Kirsten Jordan team at Douglas Elliman. We work tirelessly to get you a good deal. All right, guys, tomorrow is also Thursday. We're going to be sending out our free investing newsletter. If you want to subscribe to our Behind the Street newsletter, where we cover US equities, emerging markets, fixed income, all the stuff we talk about on the stream, piled up into a great newsletter, feel free to scan the QR code, punch in your email, and sign up for our Substack. And we'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining. Have a wonderful Thursday, and we'll see you right back here live in New York City tomorrow. So TCal, appreciate it. Austin City Limits, Esmeralda, Andy, annyeonghaseyo, appreciate it. Sharon, Brad, Adventure, Hang with Mark Mom, Sunshine After Rain, Troy Appin, Trade Brigade, NMB 45, thank you so much. Meow Meow, TK Porsche, Joseph Hardaway, always a bull market somewhere. You just need to know where to look. See you guys later. Take care.